Hello my dear friends, so welcome back. Welcome to your channel Cooking Astrology. Today in this video, let's try to understand the retrograde planets in Vedic Astrology. This is a video for the learning purpose only because there is lot of misconceptions. I'm receiving lot of comments in the YouTube section. They are asking me about the retrograde planets as well. So that's why I choose this topic to make the proper video on what is retrograde planet. Also, I will cover the every planet one by one. That I will create the separate playlist so that I will upload the videos very soon about regarding every planet. This is a generalized video upon what is planet retrogression means. See, in Hindi or in Sanskrit, retrograde means Vakri. Vakri means moving in the backward direction. So whenever any planet is retrograde in your horoscope or in your birth chart, it means that planet is moving in the backward direction. And what will happen when planet moves into the backward direction is that some kind of a karmas, pending previous birth karmas that are associated with this planet, and in this life you have to fulfill that pending karmas by going back and forth again and again in your life. And in the simplest word or in the simplest meaning, if I'm going to explain you what is retrograde mean, retrograde planets mean committing the same mistake again and again in your life, committing same mistake again and again. So this is the karmic path which is associated with the retrograde planets. Let me give you one example. Suppose you graduated from your high school, then you think about, okay, I will do a job. You go for the job interview, you got selected over there, then you start doing a job. After 1 month, 2 months, you think like, I don't meant for this job and I have to start something of my own. Then you leave that job, you go towards the business field, you start something of your own, you start the business. After doing a business for 2 months, 3 months and even 5 months, you completely lost your interest in the business field as well, and you think like job is the best possible solutions. You quit the business, again you go to the job interview, you again start doing job, and you are doing this thing again and again. This is the simplest explanation for the retrograde planets, committing the same mistake again and again in your life. Now many of you might ask me like it is a good thing or it is a bad thing. See, that thing is truly associated with the planet and especially the house which that planet is controlling in your birth chart. Because in retrograde planets, the planets which are controlled, the houses which are controlled by this planet, it holds a vital role rather than the planet placement. Suppose you are Aries ascendant and planet Mars, it is posited in the second house in the sign of Taurus and it is retrograde over there. So here Mars is going to give more result regarding to the first house and 8th house rather than the second house. It means you are committing the same mistakes again and again related to your first house and 8th house. Also, it is not a bad thing. I'm telling you this thing because here I told you it is some kind of a pending or past life karmas that you have to fulfill in this present birth. That is why that planet is retrograde in your chart. Because retrograde, it signifies some kind of a learnings or some kind of a teachings related to that areas of your life. And in order for your sustenance, the planets play a vital role in your birth chart. If some planet is retrograde, it means that planet is going to teach you something, some kind of a lessons that are connected with the retrograde planets. Also, retrograde planets, they contain a very high level of potential energy inside them. If you know little bit about the like physics or if you are a science student, then you can easily understand the difference between the potential energy and the kinetic energy. Kinetic energy, it is a movement of energy. Some kind of a velocity is associated with that kinetic energy. And potential energy, it is a stored form of energy. Here the planet's energy, it is concentrated or it is stored at one thing. So that is the power which is associated with the retrograde planets. That planets that are consisting of very high level of energy inside them. And you cannot take out your life outside from the grip of that retrograde planet in your life. I will give you suppose some second example as well. Suppose you are Libra ascendant and planet Venus, it is posited in your 7th house in the sign of Aries and it is retrograde over there. It means some kind of pending karmas are associated with your 7th house of marriage as well as your ascendant and with your 8th house as well. And you have to fulfill that kind of a karmas in this present birth. Something related to the marriage and the married life. Suppose, as I told you, retrograde means committing the same mistake again and again. In case of a Venus retrogression, the person is going to commit the same relationship mistake again and again in their life. And after committing that mistake again and again, then they develop that kind of a better understanding. Like, I'm doing something in a wrong way. Or might be I have to look backward. Then suppose they go on a one-on-one relationship. They committed one mistake. They again fall backward. They go on some second relationship. Then they commit the similar mistake. They again go backward. So after committing the mistake, same mistake, 2 to 3 times, then they realize like something is going wrong inside my life. And then they realize that it is a very powerful thing. And it is must for you to look back and just sit back, relax, and look after the past life mistakes which you have committed. Because here analyzing is very, very important. If you don't analyze your failures with the retrograde planet especially, you are never ever going to get succeed in your life. Because here I told you, energy, it is in the form of a potential energy. And it is in your hand to convert that potential energy into some kinetic energy. Or in some kind of energy that can be utilized in the positive way or in some other way. Because here if you hold that potential energy for a longer duration of time, then it may develop lot of anger and mental frustration over time. Because you are doing the same mistake again and again, and lot of your friend circle, your family, they are also getting frustrated why this person is committing this thing again and again. That is the main concept behind the retrograde planets. Also, there are a lot of misconceptions which are present over the internet. If you go by like retrograde planets means this thing, that thing, or that thing. I'm explaining you in the simplest terms. Like even if you are new to Vedic astrology, you can understand this thing. Apart from this, whenever a planet that it is retrograde in your birth chart especially, because at the time you were born, suppose at that time some planet, that thing is retrograde in your birth chart and posited over there, only then you will experience that kind of energy or that kind of karmas associated with that planets. Please don't go by the transits. Oh my goodness, in the transit that planet is going retrograde, it means something is going to happen bad in my life. There is nothing like that. Because retrograde planets, if it is posited in your birth chart and it is retrograde over there, then yes, the retrograde planets in the transit, they are going to provide you some kind of a platform where you will commit the mistakes of similar thing again and again. But if in your birth chart, if you don't have the retrograde planets, then the transit are not going to create that kind of a situations in your life. Understand this thing. It is a very, very important point. Also here, as I told you, learnings are very, very important. If you are having retrograde planets in your birth chart, and if you were unable to learn from that previous or past life mistakes in your life, you will never ever going to get succeed in your life. So that learning part, that thing is highly associated with the retrograde planets. Apart from this retrograde, this motion, that thing is, as I told you, it is associated with some kind of your pending past life karmas. And that is why you have taken the new birth in this present life, because you have to fulfill that past life karmas in that present birth. And you can only fulfill that past life karmas in the present birth by committing the same mistakes again and again. And that is a karmic lesson which is associated with your life. It is not in your hand to control the power of that mystical planets. You cannot control the power of Jupiter and Saturn in your horoscope, and you can just think like, I will control that planet. If they are retrograde, I will control. There is nothing like that, because you have to move from that path again and again. Also, one more thing you can notice, if you are having retrograde planets, you are having the habit of going to the same place again and again. Suppose you go to one shop for purchasing your home groceries. So you are then go to the same shop again and again. These individuals, they are very, like, they will not go to some new place for buying the new groceries or that kind of a thing. Similarly, especially with the retrograde planets, suppose you are going from your home to your some native place or to your job place. If you are having that kind of a retrograde planets present in your chart, it means you are going to follow the same path or same route. Suppose there is in three ways you can reach from point A to B by taking the three different paths. But if you are having retrograde planets, if you are choosing the first route, then you are always going to take the first route in your life. You are never ever going to pick the second and the third route. Because the retrograde planets, I told you, it is a potential form of energy and it is a karmic lesson. You cannot choose the other two forms. You just have to follow that one single path. And your mind is also programmed in such a way, I'm telling you this thing. Because retrograde planets, especially if they are associated with your ascendant, 5th house, 1st house, 5th house, 8th house, especially if they are associated with these houses, if they are posited in that houses, or if their zodiac sign, it falls in the that houses, it means you are having that kind of a habit. So this thing I have already noticed with the planets and their retrograde motion. This is the kind of picture that thing is going to create in their life. Also, if you want to look much deeper into the retrograde planets and understand their true impact, then please go by the degrees. Because if the retrogression occur at the Danta point around 0 degree, 1 degree, or around 29 degree and around 28 degrees especially, then here it is a tricky position. Because especially at the Gandanta point, here the planet is giving results of both the houses. Here the planet, it is giving result of both houses. Suppose planet Venus, it is in Gandanta of 2nd and 3rd house. It means the Venus retrogression is going to give the impacts of 2nd house as well and the 3rd house as well. And here it is very high level of karma. Because here the planet, it is at the, that last degrees. It holds a very, very vital role in your birth chart. And especially if the Atam Karka planet, like the planets which are holding the highest degree in your birth chart, if that planet is retrograde in your birth chart, then there might be something which is a missing link in your life. Something a missing link. And your true purpose of this birth is to find that missing link. And that missing link is connected with that planet. If that planet is holding the highest degree especially. Because with retrogression, you are entering into one deeper level of the astrology. Because if you are going into one deeper level, then you must have to have understandings regarding the Gandanta, Bhav Chalit Chakra as well, even what is Atam Karka, Amatya Karka. You must have to have at least understanding of these concepts. Because I know many of you are new to Vedic astrology, but still I'm present here, I'm going to teach you each and every thing. But try to understand this thing. At least go on a step-by-step manner, especially if you are new to Vedic astrology and if you want to learn. First, try to learn about the basic concepts. Don't just rush and go into the divisional charts and this thing and that thing. In that way, you will never ever going to learn Vedic astrology. Because the crux of the Vedic astrology, it is an ocean. Vedic astrology, it is a very, knowledge of ocean of knowledge, it is present over there. And retrograde planets, if you want to study this topic, at least you have that kind of a maturity. Because pending life karmas, if I'm talking about that thing, you must have to go to the 5th house. At least you know that thing. That 5th house, it is associated with the past life karmas. So if you know that basic thing, then you will completely associate, oh my goodness, something is there in the 5th house. That is why I have to look into the 5th house as well. Because I told you, retrograde means some kind of a pending past life karmas. So you easily go to the 5th house. Something is related there in the 5th house. And I have to look into the 5th house much deeply. And then the later part, it came the play of the other higher divisional charts as well. So till then, for the basic understanding, retrograde means committing the same mistake again and again in your life. So that's it guys from my side in this video. I hope you like the analysis. If you have any queries regarding your birth chart, you can please contact me at my mail ID. I will respond you back within 48 hours after receiving your email. Any queries regarding full birth chart reading, marriage consultation, career, or if you want to understand into much deeper level regarding the higher divisional charts as well, please contact me. I will respond you back within 48 hours after receiving your email. So till then, please subscribe my channel below and make sure to follow me on Instagram and Facebook as well, where I post a lot of stuff related to Vedic astrology. So till then, please take care of yourself. I will meet you very, very soon in the next video. Bye.